Typical paperwork up on the walls. Mission statement. Let's get that real good. The mission statement of the South Carolina Department of Social Services to ensure the safety and health of all children and adults who cannot protect themselves, and to assist those in need of food assistance and temporary financial assistance while transitioning into employment. For your safety, walk on paved areas only. Just for reference, I'm standing here waiting in line, in case anybody has anything to say about that in a minute. Yes, ma'am, I have a couple of quick questions. Is there somebody here that can explain y'all's mission statement to me?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Let's see. It's been so long since I've read it. It just says that we help protect children and adults, and we also assist with the need of food assistance, like food stamps, and financial assistance through the TANF program.
Okay, so would I be able to speak to anyone that might have something to say about the 14-year-old that went missing? I received a confidential tip that a 14-year-old went missing while in y'all's custody, and I would like to know, how did y'all lose a child that y'all took from his parents, who I believe have his best interest at heart? How are y'all going to take him and then lose him?
Okay.
And then not find him within 3 days?
Okay. Are you related to this?
No, ma'am, I'm a reporter.
You're a reporter.
And I'd like to know what the Department of Social Services is doing down here in South Carolina to lose children.
You're a reporter with who?
I don't give that out, not until I publish it.
Hey, I've got a young man up here that says he's a reporter, and he wanted me or someone to explain our mission statement, and now he wants to speak with someone that can explain to him why we had a 14-year-old and he got...
I know you can't explain why y'all had him, but y'all
got
missing
from us when we took him into custody. He won't tell me.
I think I actually talked that on camera.
Are you with a newspaper or?
I'm just a reporter. I'm an independent journalist, ma'am.
He's an
I'm not
independent
going to release where I publish my information at until after I have my story complete.
Okay, all right, thank you. If you'd like to have a seat, someone will be up to speak with you in just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Please turn off all cell phones upon entering this building. Posted on numerous signs throughout the building: no weapons allowed, no tobacco, no pets except for trained service animals. Not too much artwork. Ooh, a public safety violation. That's a new one to me. Responsible Father Registry. Take the first step to assert your rights to a child you may have fathered. Registering with the Responsible Father Registry is the first step for a father to seize the opportunity to assert his rights for a child that he may have fathered. Are y'all aware of y'all's First Amendment rights, man? Are y'all aware of y'all's First Amendment rights? Are y'all aware of y'all's First Amendment rights? You have the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, the right to peaceably assemble, and the freedom of the press. All government employees, all public officials have no expectation of privacy when they go to work because they're a public servant, which means that anything that they say or do, they have immunity, they don't get charged with. But that means they have no expected right to privacy because they work for the public and they have to identify if you ask them for their identifying information to file a complaint form or even for a personal lawsuit. If they refuse to give you your name, their badge number, their supervisor's name, they're in violation of numerous policies. Well, if you want privacy in public, you have to create it, and she's doing a damn good job of hiding behind that wall there. I wonder what she has to hide. Notice the area is under video surveillance, so I don't have to tell them that because they have it posted. So if they're surveilling, why can't I? be careful when you go outside. There's a beehive on that light. Like right there. Got it.
Do me a favor. I'm gonna have to ask you to cut that recording off because of other clients in here.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid under the First Amendment right, you have no right to ask me. This is a public lobby. This is
I'd like to
publicly
know what.
accessible area.
I'd like to know what.
I'm here to find out how y'all let a 14-year-old child go missing and why you're trying to violate my First Amendment rights.
And
right
what
now.
paper and news are you
I'm an
affiliated
independent
with?
journalist, and I.
This is the number in Columbia that you need to contact. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I have business to attend here to today, and
I need that off.
I will gladly cut this off when you tell me why y'all let a 14-year-old child go missing in
If
y'all's
you're gonna
custody.
stay here in this lobby, I need that cut off.
You need this cut off.
Yes.
Do you have something to hide from the public, ma'am?
No, I don't.
What's your name?
My name's Amy Dover.
Amy Dover. And what's your supervisor's name?
Aaron Balcom.
Okay.
The director's name is Manita Dawkins.
Manita Dawkins? I'll be speaking with her. What's your
Okay.
name, ma'am? What's your name, ma'am? You're a member of the public servants. You are a public servant. You need to identify. Yes, I am being asked to turn it off.
Call 911.
They want to tell you that there's nothing they can do. This is a First Amendment protected right.
Other people have rights too, and it's not mine. My name is Amy Dover. You can film it all day long. But the other people that come into this office, sir.
Is this a
it's-
publicly accessible area, ma'am?
It is publicly accessible.
Okay then. To protect and to ensure the safety and health of children and adults who cannot protect themselves.
Hi, this is Amy at PSS. How are you today? I need an officer here in the lobby. We have a gentleman planning to be with a reporter or an independent reporter who will not give his affiliation. He is recording in our lobby, which is in violation of the other client's HIPAA, and he refuses to leave. He is a white male with glasses. He has on a brown hat, a gray t-shirt inside out, green and beige plaid
Inside out. I do believe you're telling a lie on me, ma'am.
Inside out, sir. I'm on the phone, please. He has on,
Doing
like,
pretty
tennis
good.
shoes and white sneakers.
And I'm the director.
I don't know.
Director Benita has just walked
I know
up.
that you have concerns, but due to confidentiality, you can't record in the lobby because you're invading other people's rights when you're videotaping
Is
them.
this a publicly accessible area, ma'am?
It is because we have other people in the lobby and you have their information as confidentiality.
So,
If you want to stand outside and record, you can do that.
I mean, if you're asking me to step outside, I'll gladly do that. But I'm here to ask a particular couple of questions.
I am,
I'm an
as long as you're
independent-
recording, I am asking you to step outside.
Okay, so you are asking me to give up my First Amendment right
I'm asking you to
in a
step
public lobby.
outside if you are recording. If you turn off your recorder, you're more than welcome to stay here. But we have other people here, and due to confidentiality, you cannot record.
So is this a public area now?
So we're calling 911. We'll ask them to remove you if you're not willing to turn your camera off and
It's
step
a
outside.
First Amendment right.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about it. What I'm talking about is you recording in here when we have people here and it's a violation of their confidentiality. That's what I'm saying, okay?
Okay.
So if you don't mind it, either you can turn it off or you can stand outside.
Okay. Before I
No,
let
that's
you,
just it. That's
before
just
I
it.
let, before I leave, before you ask me to step outside
I
and
have
violate
asked
my
you to
personal
agree.
safety,
Okay,
can somebody please take care of that bee's nest right there?
okay, we will. Thank you for
I mean,
pointing
you
that out.
asked me
We
to step
will.
outside and jeopardize my safety.
Okay, you don't have to stand there, but we will take care of that. I didn't know it was there. I appreciate you bringing it to my
I mean,
attention.
I wasn't
okay,
trying to
sir,
cause
so if
any
you don't
problems.
mind, I'm not either, but I'm just asking you to be respectful of other people. Okay, that's all. You can ask whatever questions you want. I'm just talking about your recording, okay? And it's just about confidentiality.
I'll step outside, but the police
Okay,
is gonna
I
tell you it's a
appreciate
First
it.
Amendment right.
Okay, I appreciate it.
She's got it outside.
Tell them I need to speak to
Thank
an
you.
officer. I want to file a complaint.
That's fine. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'll get somebody to take care of that.
You're the director here, right?
Juanita Dawkins, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll be doing a walk of shame in 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Howdy, ma'am. Got a text message. They called the law on me. Yep. This is car number 216, tag number MG55616. It's a permanent tag. Gaffney Police.
So obviously these
This is the
child
director.
nappers,
This is the director.
child nappers do not know their First Amendment. The right to the freedom of the press.
We contacted you because they're in the lobby doing video recording, and that's just a violation because we have other people that are in the lobby.
Don't say a word.
So I asked them, they can stay in the lobby as long as they're not recording, but they were supposed to turn off their recording, so I asked them to step out. Thank you.
Well, before she leaves, I have to ask you a question, sir.
Yeah.
Does she not admit that's the lobby? That I wasn't nowhere else in the building?
This one of the places you said you were, I don't know where else you were.
I was here and in there. And if you might want to step this way, there's a bee's nest right above your head. I was actually going to let them know about that before all this other stuff got started. But can you recite your oath of office for me, sir?
So what?
Can you recite your oath of office for me?
What do you mean? Like, this paper we signed when we first started?
Yeah, the things that you swear to do and to uphold and this and that and the third and so on.
Right. Why is it relevant?
Why is it relevant? Because I'm doing a First Amendment audit here. I had a couple of questions about a pressing concern that a confidential informant had just told me that a child had went missing in their custody. I went there to ask questions about it. I identified myself as a reporter. They said, who you work with? Under my Fifth Amendment, I have the right to remain silent. I don't have to answer questions. And I don't have to give you my name. I'm on public property. I'm not breaking any laws. So they can ask me to leave all day long, but as long as I have business here, I have a right to be here. And like I said, I have business here. I will gladly leave when my business is done.
Right.
But under the Constitution, I have the First Amendment right to the freedom of press. And in a public lobby, there is no confidential information laying around to violate on anything.
Yeah. Well, there's the problem, the HIPAA, just, it is like either the hospital or anywhere.
HIPAA applies to paperwork.
It applies to anybody.
HIPAA does not pertain to the public lobby because that is a publicly accessible area. I understand where you're trying to come from. You're trying to de-escalate the situation, get me to leave, make them happy, but they have no right to ask me to leave. I'm not bothering anyone. And I really haven't caused a scene, so you can't charge me with public disorderly conduct or anything.
I'm trying to charge it.
I know, I'm trying to exercise my rights as a free citizen in this country. I have the right to the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the freedom of the press, and the right to peacefully assemble. Okay, so they let a 14-year-old child go missing in their care, and I came in to ask questions about it, and nobody wants to speak on camera, which means they either have something to hide.
Right.
If they have a problem, if you are a public servant, such as yourself, DSS, animal control, they have no expected right to privacy. You wear a name tag, do you not, sir?
Yes, sir.
And you have a badge number or a call number if you was to get a call.
Right.
Could I ask what that might be?
422.
422, and your name is Smith.
Yes, sir.
Well, like I said, I was going to let her have her say, let her talk to you, and I'm going to explain why I'm here and what I'm doing. I mean, it's under the First Amendment, under the Constitution, I have the right to be here and to do this.
All right, I see what you're saying.
And
So,
also,
Baby.
I have a right to talk just as well.
Yes.
Like you said, this is a publicly accessible building.
If they're
Anyone
leaving-
from the public can come in. Do you see anywhere that it does say anything posted that there is to be no recording in the lobby?
No, it says turn off all cell phones to the back areas.
Exactly.
right. That and there's still, like you said, a public area, but they still can ask you to leave.
They can ask me to leave, but as long as I have a right to be here, as long as I have a business here, they have no right to ask me to leave.
Right, but they feel like the business is over. So
That's what they feel like, but he's not done recording, and he has a right to record.
right.
That's what we're trying to get you to understand. That is violating our First Amendment right. That is the U.S. Constitution.
Which you swore to
law.
uphold. That's why I asked you about your oath of office a minute ago.
Right.
Now, normally I'm not going to say escalate, but I would escalate the situation as soon as you came out here by asking to speak with your supervisor.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you can radio and ask him whether or not I'm allowed to be in a publicly accessible area and record. And that'll save him a trip coming down here. But I'm just here enforcing my rights, and I'm trying to educate other people about their rights. I've done told 3 people today, and like I said, I received a confidential tip from a confidential source that they let a 14-year-old child just go missing.
Right.
Now, if that would have been a normal member of the public, a private citizen, y'all would be arresting them for suspicion of kidnapping, murder, or some other thing because their kid's missing.
Well, not off of suspicion. We're trying to investigate. I guess just like you're trying to investigate now.
And that's what I found out, so I wanted to go in there. And for my safety, I'm recording.
Right.
Because they can say whatever they want to, and since they wear a government badge, y'all are going to take their side a little bit more, and don't try to say that you won't, but because I've seen it happen numerous times over and over again.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, we're all government true, but we still have our own thoughts, our own emotions. So we're one, but we're still separate people. We're separate
Yes.
entities. So I know what you're
Yes,
saying.
and like I said, I'm not trying to bother nobody. I'm not trying to harass anyone.
Right.
I didn't intend to speak with the director personally. Not yet. I wanted to go up the chain of command, the proper ladder of command.
Right. And like you said, the whole escalation thing, when you're recording, that gets their minds thinking like, oh, they're trying to start something. And they stop thinking about business and start wondering what this is about. And Did y'all call us or they called us?
They called.
They called us.
They called because they was whatever. Which, I mean, they have the right to speak to a police officer all day long.
Right.
They have the right to file a police report all day long. But the moment that it borderlines a lie or a mistruth or misinformation to y'all that's filing a false police report, and that would be slander on me. And like I said, they asked me to come out here, so I came out here to speak to y'all.
Right.
But under my First Amendment right, I have the right to be in there and to record all day long because their job, HIPAA only applies to them. They are responsible for where the HIPAA laws, where it says that they have to protect private confidential information.
Right.
There is no private confidential information in the lobby, and I wasn't going anywhere else in the building. I wasn't trying to stick my phone in there and look at the screen. I was just taking pictures of the lobby and trying to ask questions. Within 30 seconds of the first person coming out the door after I sat down, when the first person came out, she had another person. Before the door even swung shut, there was a third person. Now, you know the laws like I do.
Okay.
But what happens when you have 3 or more people committing fraud, a crime, or any kind of violent act? What does that make that?
What do you mean? It's a crime.
If 3 or more
Child
people,
never involved the kid while they were in their care, and he went into,
if it's 3 or more
and then they
breaking the law, that makes it a gang-related crime, correct?
It could be conspiracy.
Yeah, they lost a 14-year-old.
DSS people,
Nah, I mean,
DSS people lost one of the kids.
He's been missing 3 days and they ain't found him yet. And then I spoke to the director and they kicked me out.
Cool if you don't have a supervisor. I'm not well versed. Still pretty new.
That's
I know good bits of the law, and like I said, public servant, I should know it. So.
well, I mean, you swore to uphold the Constitution, and that's why I asked you about your oath to try to
Right.
to bring that back fresh in your mind.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to enforce my rights. And as a private journalist, I have the right to keep my sources, my location of where I publish.
Are you local, or you don't have to tell where you're from?
I'm actually not even from around here. I just happened to be here at the right time in the right place, and they told me that a 14-year-old went missing. So I came here to ask questions, and they can't give me no answers. They say that I can't record, and that obviously they have something to hide or they've done something wrong. Because if they have a problem with being in public, they shouldn't take a public job where they have to deal with the public. And if they're going to violate somebody's rights, they have to understand that before they can do anything to violate someone's rights, there has to be a law broken. And like I said, I'm just trying to reiterate the point.
Well, I guess to the best of their knowledge, they believe they're doing their duty.
Actually have certain rights. And so, I mean, even with that being said, say, with me being a citizen, I can still report, even though, you know, if I am on the job, if I see some kind of criminal activity being committed, I have the right to report that criminal activity. But also at the same token, if I know that something is going on that shouldn't be going on, I have the right to actually step in and try to diffuse the situation. But, you know, legally you can't detain anyone.
You're acting as a security guard or as a citizen?
No, I'm both. I am a security guard, but
When you're doing this, are you on duty as a security guard or as a citizen?
well, I mean, it just kind of depends. You know, like I said, I
The
mean,
law kind of depends.
Yeah, it depends on whether you're on the clock or not, whether you're in
on the
uniform.
clock- If you're on the clock and you're a security guard, you have the same power to let probably as a police officer.
hold on, you have the same.
Yeah, wherever you're at.
Yeah, if you are a licensed security guard, you're hired for a property, you have the same powers as a police officer.
Well, see, I was told that the only time that you can actually detain someone is if you see them committing a felony.
That's maybe your employer's policy.
It
They
might
don't want you
be,
to go out and shop with you, but you see somebody commit a felony, you get them to do something. That may be policy.
yes, sir. And
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, but you need to check with your employer about that. The only reason we're out here today is that the Department of Social Services does stuff like SNAP, food stamps, and things like that. And while you have every right to videotape, any place the public has a right to be, you have a right to videotape.
the only
Kind
reason,
of like to respect people's privacy. Some people might be embarrassed if their picture was going all over Facebook
and
food stamps
there's
and things like that. You wouldn't want something embarrassing about you posting on Facebook.
Well, he was actually coming in to ask them
But
about
there may
something
be
else.
other people coming in and out.
yes.
You would, if you were out there to get government assistance and you're a proud person, and maybe you don't want people to know you're on food stamps.
I
But you
understand
want
that.
your picture on Facebook.
I understand that, and like you said, people might be, and I wasn't recording none of the private citizens. There was a young boy, and I should have caught this on camera. He was such a gentleman. Like, he opened the door for his mom. You know, she's pushing the stroller. He's struggling. He's like trying to get that door open. That would have been a proud moment. But I know that, like, at the post office, Poster 7, we're not allowed to record where you can see any of the card information. We have to wait in line where we're, and then we can go up and ask her questions. I'm here to find out. I walked in today. The only reason I came out here and did this is because I wanted to find out what happened to a missing 14-year-old child that's been missing for 3 days. I got a confidential tip. I done told them I'm a reporter. They didn't want to hear it.
A lot of times, juvenile
They
information.
can't. I know they can't give out the information as far as to why he's missing or how.
That's
But
probably something also that you would need to go through DS's headquarters in Columbia with. A lot of times these people are not allowed to release statements to the press. They have designated what they call public affairs officers.
Yeah.
Who release statements and stuff. A lot of times it's their policies that
I
they're
believe
not,
they gave me the number for that.
that's what I would do. I would contact their public affairs officer with DSS and ask if they have a statement. These people here are probably not authorized to release statements on behalf of DSS.
Well, the director actually came out. The first woman was not the director, but the first woman came out. The second woman peeked her head out from behind the door. I'm assuming it was the supervisor. When the second woman came out the door, before the door swung shut, the director came out. They escalated it to the point where it wasn't a one-on-one anymore. It was 3-on-1.
They've given you a card or someone to contact who's authorized to release a statement.
Yes, and they called the police, and instead
That's
of me,
what I would recommend you do then, is contact that person who is authorized to speak on behalf of DSS.
all right, and I also filed. I was trying to file a complaint and let them know about the safety of the public here with the bee's nest. I know it's not their job, but it's their job to make sure the building is properly secured. I did point it out to the
Is this a
directors.
city building or county building?
It's
Actually,
county.
owned by someone else. Beach Street Center was purchased by someone else.
That's why I was confused.
So I did speak to the lady. I believe it's the same lady you spoke with. Had a conversation with her about it. She does understand at this point. I think her discomfort was the other people in the lobby that aren't aware of what can and can't take place that were uncomfortable. So she was
Yes.
just trying to address the situation based on their discomfort.
That's
Yeah,
what I
and-
told her. I said, maybe some people might be receiving SNAP, and they wouldn't, they might be
And-
embarrassed if they got out. They prefer not to.
Like I said,
Their privacy.
I understand that, and I get that fully. And I wasn't trying to record any of the confidential information. I know sometimes you have to give out your social and at the window. That's why when I seen people go up to the window, I was recording the posters, the walls.
Well, we're public servants, and they're public servants, and you have a right to videotape them. Those individual civilians in there.
Have no expected right to privacy in public. When you step out your front
But
door
you
in the
should
public,
respect their right
I did and
to
I
not
do.
Be embarrassed.
I did and I do. But I'm just trying to.
If they've given you a contact number who's authorized to speak on behalf of DSS, I would appreciate it if you
It was just
handle it
not
that way, okay?
I will. And I appreciate you speaking with
Not a
me.
problem, sir. I appreciate you. All right.
And I was telling this guy did a great job. When he wasn't sure what to do, he called in for a supervisor.
Well,
And
everyone knows now that as long as you're in public, you have a right to videotape, and ain't nobody gonna give you a hard time about it. We just ask that you respect some people's privacy.
and if you wanted to ask some of the people in there, like I would, when there was somebody at the window, I would point the camera away.
I try to do that, but I wasn't there to record their information. I was there to speak just to the public servants. And like I said, I understand what you're saying. I get that fully.
See, we're not even, none of us are allowed to talk on behalf of the police department. The only person allowed to release a statement is the chief of police. So if you come to me, I would do the same thing they did and say,
You gotta
if you
speak
need a
to.
statement, you need to the chief. They told you if you need a statement, you need to contact that person in that call. So that's what I recommend you do. Okay? Simply because their policy is they can't release statements.
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right,
Yeah,
sir?
thank you. I appreciate
Thank
y'all
you.
being willing to explain things and talk to us about it. So we'll get
Have a
out of
nice
here.
day. And like I said, the only reason I was still here is because they called the police, and that would make me look like I was guilty of.
No, listen, I get it. No problem. I'll take care.
Well,
It
I still
escalated
go to
really quickly.
Charlotte, and I'm not going down that way. I'm gonna die.
We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all
Thank
for being
you.
polite. Thank you for not pulling your
Enjoy the rest of
guns,
your
hands
day.
on your guns, scaring people.